Paul Heyman was attacked and written off TV on last night's SmackDown. New Money in the Bank entrants were revealed, and multiple WWE names crossed over to TNA. Stay tuned for all the wrestling news. Last night's SmackDown was quite an eventful one. I would say it was quite shocking in some senses because Paul Heyman looked like he hasn't slept in a week. He hasn't shaved in a week. That man has a commitment to the bit.
He looks like a baked bean that's sort of been forgotten about, just sort of slowly sliding down a kitchen tile.
It's like when you've had a fry up and you've left like one singular bean on your plate and you go back the next day and it's still there.
Yeah.
I don't eat beans, but I think that's what it's like. But Paul Heyman was on SmackDown last night. Obviously, we had the Bloodline acknowledgement ceremony. Early in the night, Solo Sikoa was like, hey, Paul, it's fine. Don't stress. Jacob Fatu's not here. You know,
you don't need to worry about the big werewolf. It's all right. He was just popping up once. He's not here.
He's not an actual member.
Roman's still our favorite.
Yes. Well, later in the night, we had, in fact, the main event spot, really. Paul Heyman, obviously part of the Bloodline, they come out. They have the acknowledgement ceremony for Solo Sikoa. Solo welcomes Jacob to the ring, and you could see that Heyman was worried.
Yeah.
He was really, really dreading the fact that Jacob was there. Jacob acknowledged Solo Sikoa as the tribal chief. Solo asked to be acknowledged. Heyman was given the lei to put round Solo's neck.
They pulled it out like a little silk bag.
Yeah, they were giving it to Heyman. It was his job to do the honors, and he got on the mic and he was like, I don't acknowledge you as my tribal chief. You are not my tribal chief.
Massive response.
Big pop, like really, really loud pop. The place went ballistic, as did Solo and the Bloodline. They attacked Paul Heyman. We had a Samoan spike to Heyman. Jacob Fatu hit a Samoan splash onto Heyman, and then they put him through the announce table with a powerbomb.
Yeah, and he just sort of like, oh God, the landing. He just sort of goes boom, and then just slides off it. He's just dead.
As we said, commitment to the bit. The man is 58 years old. That must hurt for him. Like,
I mean, it could have been more in fitting. They could have built a scaffold, and it could have been like 35 feet through barbed wire,
glass panes,
with a load of the Philly fans just around. Yeah,
you just imagine the pop that he got when he said that he doesn't acknowledge Solo Sikoa, that he's not his tribal chief.
Yeah.
When Roman shows up and he's with Heyman.
Well, already people are already kind of going, oh, I can't wait. And it's like, just give it time. Like, it's only been 3 months.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus.
The chance are there, though.
Just they're there, but let them keep building. Like, and everybody's kind of wanting to rush to this point where Roman comes back and him and Cody team up and it's babyface. Yeah, ooh, ah. Yeah. And it's like, great, but like, it's far too quick.
Oh, yeah.
It's far too quick. Like, let's do that next year. Let's build for a whole year. And let's make Heyman like a captive of them. Let's make Heyman have zero options, but to have to go along with it.
Well, he has zero options right now because he was taken off to hospital at the end of last night's show on a SmackDown exclusive. It showed that Paul Heyman was loaded onto a stretcher after the Bloodline did their little acknowledgement sign above a prone Heyman on the outside. He was wheeled off, put in the ambulance, and that's kind of what, not ended the show, but that's what WWE ended the whole SmackDown on, was him being wheeled off. It'll be interesting to see what the fallout of this is next week. Going in at Money in the Bank, I feel like Heyman's going to be off TV for a little bit of time to sell this. Maybe we won't see him again until SummerSlam.
It makes sense. I mean, there was a whole thing recently of like, oh, Cody talking about maybe having that classic mouthpiece manager, and everybody's like, oh, Arn. And it's like, well, you could also have Heyman.
You could put him.
Heyman could be sort of redeemed a little bit, I guess, through Cody, but like it's one of those where I hope we don't see Heyman for a little while. I hope when he does come back, he's a changed man, and it's affected him, and I want to see that it has consequence, right? I want this to be a long, like, lasting situation, because this is like a firm line in the sand now between the new bloodline and Roman Reigns' bloodline.
But as you said, long-term stuff, that's what the bloodline's known for, so we will just watch it play out. But this was a very good segment. That's when you wanted to. Well, looking forward to the future, not in the far future, but to next weekend. We got some names confirmed for Money in the Bank. We saw the first one being Tiffany Stratton defeating Jade Cargill and Candice LeRae. This was a little bit of shenanigans. There was some temporary alliances formed between Stratton and LeRae to take down, obviously, the powerhouse of the match, Jade Cargill. We had Nia Jax make an appearance, Bianca Belair make an appearance, Indy Hartwell get involved and pushed Jade Cargill into the post. There was a lot of things that were involved. It allowed Tiffany Stratton to get the advantage, beat Candice LeRae, and get her spot in next week's Money in the Bank match. But later in the night, who earned their spot, Sam?
Naomi defeated Blair Davenport and Indy Hartwell to secure a place in the match after she pinned Hartwell. Cargill, of course, made an appearance here to issue some revenge to Hartwell for the attack earlier in the night, which allowed Naomi to score the win. Naomi's going to be absolutely insane.
She's going to be great.
Money in the Bank. It's going to be perfect. But not only were their names confirmed for women's Money in the Bank, we also had men's confirmation. We had LA Knight winning his match to join the men's match, defeating Santos Escobar and Logan Paul to earn his spot. There was a bit more shenanigans because we're in the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. So we had essentially outside the ring, on the outside, we had Jalen Brunson, who's a player for the New York Knicks. He sat front row. Logan Paul invited him. It's like, he invited another basketball player from the Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton. They'd recently played off in the Eastern Conference NBA semifinals. Knicks lost.
The Knicks lost surprisingly.
We're building up to this whole, like, this is the headline of Mania. Like, screw Bloodline. Screw everything. Just two basketball guys. Get in there.
Get in there. Yeah, they settle the, instead of Game 7, you want to have them in the match and have like a Hell in a Cell match.
But essentially, Brunson got involved, stopped Halliburton from helping Paul, and then he was going to give him the brass knuckles, and it was like, the standard Logan Paul. Logan also dressed like Lex Luger, threw up everywhere. Really, really bizarre. Knight managed to roll up Paul, though, after the match, taking advantage of the situation. So LA Knight could be climbing that ladder next week. I don't think he will, but that match is looking fairly unpredictable. There's so many people that could actually win. He would be amazing with the case. And as much as I say, like, I would love to see him with the case, does he need it the most?
Don't think he does. There's other people in there. I mean, obviously, Jey Uso's all over the posters for Money in the Bank.
That's telegraphing that for me. Like, if Jay wins it, then you may as well just start putting the winner of everything on every poster.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's
I mean, we had it every Mania. You've got the main event, two guys, and they're both on the poster. One of them's going to win.
How dare WWE. On the women's side, though, I do think...
It should be like Roman Reigns and Superman, right?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah. On the women's side of things, Tiffany Stratton, great choice to be in there. This will be a really standout performance for her. Me and Adam were mentioning it yesterday on the news, but I don't think she's going to win. I think Chelsea Green's got that. I think
Chelsea Green's going to be able to do a lot with that briefcase. I think this is going to be a standout moment for Tiffany, though. It's sort of we've been waiting for this big featured moment, I think, for Tiffany Stratton for a while, where it's sort of the establisher, the match that's going to kind of really cement her position.
I think this could be it. This could be it. Well, moving over to AEW and some Forbidden Door shenanigans, but not quite actually Forbidden Door. Chris Jericho, right?
It's like the open window behind the Forbidden Door.
Yeah. He snuck through the cat flap of the Forbidden Door. He appeared at last night's CMLL event in Arena Mexico and attacked
Lucha
Mystico.
Viernes.
Yeah, it was a big moment. Jericho came out in a mask and a jacket, so he's kind of hidden. Then he beat down Mystico, but as soon as he hit the Judas effect, I think everyone in the arena knew what was up. He then took the mask off, revealing it to be Jericho, and that stood over a prone Mystico in the ring. But in a backstage promo, Jericho challenged Mystico to a match in CMLL, and it's going to take place next Friday. This will be a big match in Arena Mexico. Jericho's first match since 1995 in CMLL.
If CMLL could start re-uploading Lucha Viernes to YouTube, that would be great, because they used to just upload it in full. It was amazing. But also, I'm hyped seeing Jericho in any other markets. Always entertaining, always interesting. He's a wrestler and still mix it up and hang with the best of them, and Mystico is one of the best. So this is I'm a big fan of CMLL, only because there's no way to really watch AAA here. But I've seen more CMLL than any other lucha promotion, I think, and I think Jericho, he's such a big name, and the atmosphere there's great. I think it's going to work.
You just know that so many people are going to be drawn to next week's show because Jericho's on there. But Mystico is also on this Sunday's AEW Forbidden Door. He's in a trios match on the 0 Hour, and he's teams with the Lucha Bros. It'll be interesting to see if we get any mention of this on Forbidden Door, and if we get any crossover
as well, to see that we've got Judas and basically the most Jesus-y of all of the Jesus-y wrestlers. Because Mystico is the spiritual successor of Frey Tormenta, right? So he's like the big saintly.
He's a saintly guy.
Christian wrestler.
It'll be a fun match for sure. Now, though, that wasn't the only Forbidden Door shenanigans, cat flap door entry points. This, just a warning, some spoilers for the upcoming episodes of TNA. They did a taping last night. Their episodes start airing on Tuesday. So just
if you want to avoid, just start humming really loudly. Put your fingers in your ears. Just keep watching though.
So kicking off, first things, similar to Against All Odds, Jordan Grace held a open challenge for her Knockouts Championship. Last time it was answered by Tatum Paxley. This time it was answered by NXT's Izzy Dame. It is what it is. An NXT star who hasn't really been given much of a platform in NXT recently. Yeah. Good choice to send her over to NXT, get a little to TNA, and get a little bit in the
a little bit of seasoning.
Not only this though, someone who's no stranger to crossovers. Who was it?
Yeah, like the forbidden person, I guess. Charlie Dempsey making a shocking appearance, attacking Leon Slater, knocking him off the top rope, and then attacking the other wrestlers in the ring, and the referee proper just grabs the ref, manhandles the ref. It's the third crossover Dempsey's been involved in. He faced Nakajima in All Japan, appeared at Bloodsport, of course, during WrestleMania week, but he wasn't alone, as later in the night his no quarter catch crew stablemate Miles Bourne also made an appearance, and as you said, these episodes will start airing from July 4th, so next week.
Yeah, next week. There's looks like the WWE is all in on this. Like, they are not afraid of sending folk over that maybe do need a bit more reps. Like, they're not sending the top names.
This is the problem.
They could
this
do.
Is the problem.
But in terms of how it will help the talents, and it will help TNA just to get some interesting names. Charlie Dempsey, I would say, is a big enough name to send over at the moment.
Yeah, but the thing is, TNA is sending their biggest stars, right? They're sending Jordan Grace, right? Yeah. They're sending Joe Hendry. They're sending all these people over, and it's like, I understand it makes a lot of sense for the NXT talent to go across. They are a natural fit. It works well. Everybody's kind of gelling, and it's really cool. But at the same time, I'm not saying, they're not going to send Randy Orton. I'm not an idiot. No. But, like, we need somebody more established to go across, because right now it does feel like TNA is getting a bit of the short end of the stick on it.
A little bit. I think over time that will change. But as an entry point in the first sort of... We've only seen Tatum Paxley before on TNA. I think that's the first crossover we've seen on the actual TNA programming. So the fact that we've had
But they could have sent Natty.
They could have sent if she's signed to a contract.
Yeah.
We don't know what the deal is with Natty, but I'm sure we will find out.
I'm sure she's going to sign a very lucrative contract because she trains everybody.
Yeah, she does. Well, if there's any news on Natty, we'll let you know, but that is all we've got for you just now. We'll be back later on today with more wrestling news. Make sure you check out all the content on the channel just now. The podcast is on the YouTube right now. It was a big, beefy, girthy, scrummy podcast, as Matthew would describe it, and it's Forbidden Door weekend, so there's reactions. There'll be what happened at. There'll be all the list videos, the news videos. Keep it here. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you later on today.